Yo, what is going on, guys? And in today's video, as you can see by my wrestling arena here, got some championships, got extra figures, accessories, and then there's just my general roster. There's the ramp, entrance table, weapons. But you might be wondering, what are we doing here? Why do I have a stack of figures right here? It's because today I'm doing well, as you probably read the title, my first ever WWE Royal Rumble prediction. And it's going to be for 2024, of course. And I want to kind of get started right away. So right away, we got the Women's Rumble. Now, I only have two. Now, this looks like a one-on-one match, but that's generally only because I don't own a lot of, like, the modern-day women. Like, I don't own Ripley. I don't own Bianca Belair. I don't own Liv Morgan. I don't own any of those. And I'm not a person that goes out there to, buy the women. I'm out there to buy the newer men's figures, because I actually get a lot of use out of them. And, I'll occasionally use Becky Lynch, because, well, I could use her as a distraction to help Seth Rollins win matches and stuff. But starting things off, I don't know who I want to win. However, I'm just going to get straight to the point right away. Two entrance returns that I honestly predict are Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss, who of course was. There's a piece of barbed wire right there. Who has been out due to being pregnant. And then of course we got Sasha, who ultimately was she fired or released? I don't remember, but she might have been fired or released. Of course, we also have Bayley here, very old Bayley. Of course, Becky, which I think my prediction has to be Bayley. Or actually, no, it's gonna be Bayley or Asuka. I'd love to see the callback to see when. Excuse me, there. I always just kind of having issues with my nose here, but I would love to see Bayley win the match. I'd also love to see Asuka win the match too, but that's because it would be a really good callback to see, oh wow, she won the first women's matchup or the first women's match ever for the Rumble. It would be great to see her win that again, and I'll be back with the next setup. Our next matchup is Kevin Owens versus Logan Paul for the United States Championship. Of course, Kevin Owens did win a tournament, and I think that, I just don't think that Logan Paul's being a very great champion. I mean, he won it, and, there generally wasn't room for him at, Survivor Series. However, I think in a champion, you need to have at least a few defenses, you know what I'm saying, after you win it. And, WWE has been given these opportunities of, matches on Raw or SmackDown and stuff like that. However, in my opinion, I just think Kevin Owens deserves a title since, the last title he ever won was the tag titles with Sami Zayn. Which is why I think my prediction will go to Kevin Owens with the U.S. title. Plus, on top of that, Kevin Owens can defend it, and he could be, and in fact, just a fantasy book it. I love to see Kevin Owens defend it up against a guy like, Grayson Waller, who, cost him the match. And there's so much story there based on the fact that he cost Grayson Waller that match against Trick Williams at the New Year's Evil, I believe. New Year's Evil, or whatever it's called. And that could be the perfect setup. Plus, on top of that, Elimination Chamber is in Grayson Waller's hometown of Australia. Of course, Rhea Ripley is definitely has to be in the main event. Which, honestly, I feel like Owens has to be defending champion. Rhea Ripley honestly has to. And honestly, Ripley and Grayson Waller would save the show. Having the two hometown people be participants in the matchup. Alright, next up we have the triple threat between Roman Reigns, or the Fatal 4-Way. Sorry, I don't own the LA Knight figure, so I was kind of brainwashed into thinking, oh, there's 3 people in front of me, it's a triple threat. But anyway, yeah, as you can see, Roman got the champion, Roman Reigns, defending up against AJ Styles, against Randy Orton, and against AJ Styles, or LA Knight, Orton, Styles, and there's definitely gonna be bloodline interference between Jimmy and Solo, and I feel like there's a good chance that like could predict that Roman to lose the belt, but it's just kind of obvious Roman's gonna win. I mean, but it's kind of crazy to think that over Roman Reigns is like almost over, like I think 2,000 day long reign. Uh, he hasn't had one multi-man match since 2021's WrestleMania main event against Daniel Bryan and Edge, I believe. Which is crazy to think that two guys that aren't even in the company anymore were in Roman Reigns' last multi-man match. That's how long it's been. At least I think. At least title match wise, I mean, like it's kind of obvious that he was in that whole tag team match against Solo and Jimmy, but or Solo and Usos. But yeah, and honestly, Roman Reigns just has to ultimately lose it, which should not break Hulk Hogan's reign. So I predict the Tribal Chief to be on top. And now, time for our last matchup, but I have to set up the figures in the ring quick. Next up, we have the Royal Rumble. These are just some of the participants, I think. Now, I believe already Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Nakamura, Kofi, and Drew and Damian Priest have all been officially mentioned to be in the match, which I just predict that Tozawa's going to be in the match. Of course, Finn Balor's going to be in. And I don't know if Jey Uso's been it or not, but in my opinion, this is going to be a great match. It's the first year at WWE. It's honestly made it super unpredictable. Another name that's in the match is Gunther. It would be great to see. It's obvious. I feel like DIY is going to be in here. However, there's one return that WWE are all speculating, or all the fans are speculating. Of course, we have our two main winners at the front here, but if you notice, boom, The Rock. A lot of fans are speculating that The Rock will ultimately enter the Rumble and win it to challenge Roman Reigns at Mania. However, I want to go through a few more returns. Another return is that it's very clear. It's going to be one of those. It's going to be the first of like 5 Brock Lesnar appearances of the year, to be honest. Like, he always does it. Another return I'd love to see is John Cena. He got absolutely mauled at Crown Jewel. He got mauled at Crown Jewel by Solo, dude. Like honestly, I feel like I'm really shocked that ultimately, like, Solo lost. And then, of course, we got the Celtic Warrior. Sheamus has been out. And honestly, I find this to be a great way to reinvent himself. Another return that people are thinking about is Andrade Cien Almas, or more formally known in AEW as Andrade. What was his name? I don't even know. Well, I never watched AEW when he was there, really. In fact, I don't really watch AEW that much. I just like picking up on the, pre-shows and stuff. But what is it? It doesn't matter. Yeah, Andrade Cien Almas, which I think would be a great way for Zelina Vega to reinvent herself by pairing up with Andrade. Of course, AEW didn't treat him that well. He won really, like, nothing at all, to be honest. Which I think WWE could treat him better. Put him in the mid-card. Put him at the top of the mid-card. With Zelina Vega. And make it actually matter. Don't make it like a Goot for long reign, where it's like, oh, Gunther's been 600, almost 700 days as champ. Make it like, oh, he's held the title for like 5 months, or oh, he's held it for 7 months, and then have him lose it, and then maybe get another opportunity, win it again, and maybe have him lose it in about a month or 2, or maybe just in a few weeks, or have someone cash in. No matter what, though, Zelina Vega has to rediscover herself. She can't keep doing this LWO crap. Because, to be honest, every time they feud with someone new, of course, the other team has no women's wrestler. Which really just means she's just a manager. Which not saying that she necessarily won't be just a manager. Of course, back when she was with Andrade, it was a rare appearance of having Zelina Vega actually fight. But now that she's actually been fighting more, it would be great to see mixed tag matches. In fact, one thing I'd love to see is the mixed tag match, the mixed match challenge again, which they need to bring back the Cruiserweight Classic. I know that the Cruiserweight title's kind of gone, but I think it would be a great way to have, guys like Ricochet, who, are constantly there to elevate other guys to the top, finally get their elevation. Have guys like Ricochet, Santos Escobar, uh, guys like Rey Mysterio, if he were to return this year. You have guys like Kofi Kingston, who are actually, great at high flying. Have guys like Tozawa. Have guys like JD McDonough. Have guys, just have some of these high flying guys do what they actually can do. Have guys like, like Dragon Lee. Which, honestly, a Rumble match with Andrade. But if Andrade does come back, Zelina Vega just needs to rediscover herself with Andrade. It's an absolute essential if they're bringing Andrade back, which is very clear. His contract expired with AEW. Another one that everybody is expecting to make their debut is MJF. Or everyone's everyone's like, oh my gosh, MJF is off of AEW's official roster page. It's like, first of all, he's not going to be a current talent because of all the injuries he has. He's not going to be in the ring performing. If he's injured, he can't perform. And and I think AEW just took him off of their site because, well, if he's not going to be able to even compete in matches due to injury, what's the point of even putting him on the roster as being a talent that's going to be there week after week after week after week after week? But who is my prediction? Well, I'll start by taking out Superstar, so I think it's very clear. Brock ain't winning. He doesn't need to win. I feel like Sheamus has to rediscover himself more. There's no way in hell Cena deserves another win. Shinsuke Nakamura. It'd be great to see him be an Iron Survivor. Look at that. My next pick actually came out. Damian Priest, who still has the Money in the Bank briefcase. Plus, on top of that, he already has 2 titles, which they need to split these titles off, dude. It would be so much greater. I know that it just makes another matchup to make WrestleMania longer, but WWE needs to take away a title and bring back the dual titles. Bring back the double tag titles for the men's. And take away the women's, because the only thing does is just, it's there to constantly have, what are they called? Transitional champs. We got Kofi next, who clearly, I feel like he's run out of ideas to the point where now he could just get eliminated easily. It would be very funny for the memes, but I think it's very clear that Tozawa is losing. Same with Balor, same reason as Damian. He already has a title. It would be great to see Jey Uso in the main event, as his nickname is Main Event Jey Uso. Now, in my opinion, this would be an absolutely fire Final Four right here. Have a guy that makes his return. Which I would absolutely love to see Pete Dunne be in the Final Four. Now, in my opinion, come on, stay up. Come on, alright, hold the rope. Come on, Drew. Come on. Well, you can stay my punk. Come on. Alright, Rocky, let's get in the ring. And these 4 would honestly be a lot of people. And I'm just going to get rid of The Rock, because it's really like 50-50 chance of him coming back. It's down to these 3. I'm going to get out Drew. I'm going to take Drew out. It would be great to see Drew McIntyre win, based on the fact that he won the Rumble during easily the worst eras. It'd be great to see a main event. However, I would love to see that possibly happen next year. Maybe have him have a face turn, not have a win as a face. Or maybe not have a win as a heel. Now, it's down to the American Nightmare and the best in the world. Who do I think is going to win? Punk. I think CM Punk is going to win this year's Rumble. I just think that it would be a great match to see Punk, win. especially because he's always been that Iron Survivor every year. He's always been an Iron Survivor or an early number, an early number participant. Because there's been so many years where he's number 1 or 2. There's been years where he's been like in the first 10 superstars. Which, in my opinion, I think this year he honestly has to come out at least in the last 10. They can't do what they did with him a long time ago. Have him, come out and be like Iron Survivor. He's starting to get, not saying that Punk is really old or anything, but just that he clearly is active in the ring as others are. And, that's really because he hasn't been on the roster as long as some of these other guys. So. Anyway, that's my Royal Rumble 2024 predictions. And to be honest, I would love to see Drew. If I had to predict someone to win it next year, it would have to be Drew McIntyre for the 2025 Royal Rumble. But WWE just has to do a face turn with him next year. Hopefully this year, leading up to the Rumble event, leading up to next year's Rumble event, having him win it as a face again, like 5 years later, would be great. I honestly have no hate against Cody Rhodes. In fact, Cody Rhodes is actually, I think, in the top 5 of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Number 5 or lower, or he's a little bit higher, I believe. But, yes, I just don't think that they need to do the whole, oh my gosh, he's only the second man ever to win 2 Rumbles in a row. Like, in my opinion, I just think that WWE, one thing I think Vince McMahon always wanted to do was just break the records. He never wanted to take things serious, like, oh, I know this guy needs a title. But, it would be great to see this person beat, this person's long title reign, or this person's streak, or let's have this current guy beat this guy's streak because, well, this guy ain't doing anything, Which means that generally I think that, and I'll see a Punk, it would be great to see him return, take out Rollins at Mania. Maybe Rollins could finally, get a decent recovery if he's still hurt by the time. Which really, I feel like Elimination Chamber is going to be a interesting show based on the fact, both men's world champions aren't going to be there. So it really is up to Rhea Ripley, Grayson Waller, Logan Paul or Kevin Owens, depending on who wins. It's going to be up to, who else? Gunther. It's going to be up to Gunther. Judgment Day. And hopefully there are actually a decent few feuds leading up. Because if WWE is going to make this another one of their long-awaited, long events. I just hate it, though, when WWE constantly has super long events. And at, really late. Which I hopefully this year's Mania isn't, 20 hours long. Oh, wow, we're starting WrestleMania at, we're starting WrestleMania at 1 p.m. today, or tonight. But that would be crazy if WWE did that. Which is generally, Punk needs to win it, and he's gonna go on to Mania. He's gonna win. He's gonna challenge Rollins. He's gonna beat him for the world title. He's gonna hold it for a little bit. He's going to lose it to maybe elevate a younger star. Maybe put him in the mid-card section. Have him, win the United States title. Maybe have him put over a few other people. But then get his rematch. Because, it was a common theme to see. Oh, Punk versus Taker. Punk versus Rock. Punk versus Rock. Lesnar, Taker. He never got his rematch ever against any of those guys. He was just mainly there to put them over. Which is why I think that now Punk is, he's older. After Mania, after he loses the title, he's going to be there to put Towns over and to put himself over as well. Which anyway, that's gonna wrap up my video. Please like and subscribe. And yeah, see you on the next one.